Good morning. Monday morning. Gonna be running out here to see what we can see. Not too different from the last time, but also slightly different. Last time I was talking about how I enjoyed walking around with the still photography, and I think I'll do that. I do have my gimbal tripod, so I can use that, or I could just handhold it. I haven't decided yet. I will decide that momentarily, but fairly light. Taking still photos. But then I'm also, last week I was talking about how I was pining that I wish I had another camera that I could, like, one as nice as the Sony or nicer, that I could bring with me as a secondary, so I could be taking landscape photos or video or whatever the case may be. And I don't really have a solution for that anytime soon because I don't have the money, so I'm making do with what I got. It's big, it's bulky, it's why I never really brought it out, but the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K that I've been using for years now is going to be carried with me. I've got a sling to put it on. I brought one of my wide-angle lenses, my more traditional. I wanted to bring the really nice one, but it's too much. So I just have the Canon 24-105. Should be good for this purpose of... Uh-oh, where did that go? Uh-oh. I just dropped something. Well, I'm gonna have to find that. This isn't exactly ideal. I'll go over, I got a couple minutes before the sun comes up. It's not ideal because it just gobbles up batteries. Using it handheld, I almost never do. That's why this has never really been an option for me, even though it takes fantastic video. First of all, I don't have the more expensive SD card type thing that they call the CFast because they're really expensive. What I have is an SSD. Oh God, I forgot my SSD. Crap. Man, that was the whole point. Well, I guess I'm not doing any of that. Dang it. I used it. I recorded, it's Monday. The reason I'm coming out on a Monday is because on Saturday I recorded more Capitalism Ho videos. Something that I've been wanting to do and needing to get done to stay kind of on a schedule, which is not something that I'm holding myself to exactly, but I figured it would be a good idea. And I use the SSD because it's USB-C, so I can record straight off my switcher. I don't have to record multiple camera angles, I just do it from one. But that requires me to move my SSD back and forth. And I have a plan for that after moving, and I can set up my recording near where my computer is because I've got an SSD dock. So that's how I edit when I use the really big camera, because I record straight to the 2.5 inch, not the like transportable ones. And I can just plug the dock into the switcher and record straight to SSDs onto that, which is my plan. I already planned for that, but I don't have an option to do that currently because so I have moved the stuff back and forth. So that has all of my footage from this weekend that I shot on Saturday, and it's sitting by my computer ready to be transferred. I did not bring it today, which means that this is essentially pointless. Because I don't have SD cards big enough that'll hold more than a few seconds, and it also won't record at the frame rates that I record at. Well, I guess maybe next time this will be more applicable, where I'll be able to do, that really bums me out. That was the whole thing, and I need to get an extra SSD, I guess. And they don't even make those ones anymore. They make different ones that apparently aren't as good. Oh, that's frustrating. That's very frustrating. Anyway, so I'm just going to be taking still photos. The whole idea was so that if I'm out there while I'm looking for birds and things like that, if I see something nice landscape, or, you know, I want to get some I guess kind of B-roll footage of what I'm seeing, where I'm going, the nature and things like that, I would have an option to get some really nice footage out of this. Even handheld or with a sling. You pull a sling all the way out to kind of stabilize it. It was going to be a nice thing, but I guess I'll just leave that in the car, pack everything else up and go look for birds and just do still photography. Oh well, it'll be fine. It's just an annoyance. I was looking forward to doing that because I did this whole thing. I rearranged my whole bag here to do that. Oh well. Let's go see what we can see. Dang it. Dang, 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 dang. the way this day started, I didn't have very high hopes. On my belt that I wear, I keep just this little headphone case that's Legend of Zelda from some Zelda earbuds I got many years ago, right? And the zipper broke on it. The whole handle where I pull it on and off broke, so I'm gonna have to try to fix that. And that was right out the gate. And then I realized that I forgot to grab my windshield wiper for the rear. I need to replace it. It broke over the winter. And I forgot to do that, which was not that big a deal. And then I got here, and then the bigger one, forgetting the SD card or the SSD, so that I could get the landscape stuff. But you know what? That was pretty great. There were so many birds. Just so much stuff. Constantly, throughout the whole time. It was like, what's that? That's a bird. And that's a bird. And that's a bird. So I'm hoping, I'm pretty... like 75 to 80% confident that I got some good shots. And usually that's like a 40%, so I think I got some good stuff. It's really interesting because it's like, all right, I made up my mind I want to do still photography today. It's easier to edit, it's quicker. It's, you know, it's different as it is. I like doing both, but it's always something where I get out and I'm like, well, but I want to be doing video too. And when I'm doing video, I want to be taking still photos. And during all of that, I want to be doing landscape photos and video. Like, I want to be doing everything all at once, and that doesn't exist. You can't do that. So, making the sacrifices as best I can. Today, the still photos, and I think they came out great. I know for sure one thing in particular. I'm pretty sure it would have come out unless something weird happened with the camera. But I answered a question that I had today. Last year, to go back, put up hummingbird feeders, started getting hummingbirds coming throughout the rest of the summer after we moved here and into fall before they migrated south. So I set up one day and I got some video footage of them, and the hummingbirds are back. Not quite in as many numbers as last time, but since it's still early, maybe there are still some that are coming. I'm not exactly sure how it will work. But I always had a question, and when we walk around the neighborhood, I see hummingbirds here and there. We saw some like come and land on branches and things, which is different from where I see them flying up to the feeder and they sit there and then they fly off. And obviously, I've always been curious about where do they make nests or how or anything like that. And today, I got to see a hummingbird sitting in its nest, pretty close to where I was. So I might be coming back to check that out next week. It'd be amazing if I'm gonna have to look up when do hummingbirds hatch their eggs typically, and how that whole process works. How long of a period do I have? Hopefully the video I couldn't tell, the photo from today will show a little bit more. I didn't hear anything, so I don't think they've hatched yet, or I don't even know if the hummingbird has laid eggs yet. I couldn't tell at all. It was fairly up, but I know where it is. I know where I can get back to it safely and not disturb, because I was kind of walking right under it, and then I suddenly saw the hummingbirds, and I went, oh, those are hummingbirds. And then I walked a little further on, and I turned around, and I was looking around, and there goes one that lands, and I'm like, well, there's a nest. Because I've never seen a hummingbird really stay in one spot for too long. And then later on, I actually did see another hummingbird that was landing on branches. It was a bush kind of foliage, and drinking something from these little plants. I don't know anything about the plants. I'd never seen them before. After it flew off, I went up and got a little closer and got a couple seconds of video of it to see if I could look into it a bit more. Maybe the editor can tell us more about it. But great stuff. Really happy. I'm glad to be doing still photography again. This place makes up for the entire winter. All of winter not seeing a whole lot. Come spring, boom. It is just bumping with birds. So I'm really happy about that. I think we got some great photos. We're going to pass it off to the editor to, I'm looking at more flying up. We're going to pass it off to the editor, who's going to go over all those things. And that means I got to work on my website some more, because I haven't updated the website in quite a while with all of the birds that I've been seeing, for especially the photos, but then also the video. And the page has gotten so long that it takes forever to scroll through. So I'm working on a way to shorten that down and alphabetize them and sort them out that way, and then individualize. But anyway, good stuff. Super happy about it. That'll be it for today. Next week, hopefully same thing, but with more landscape video, because I plan on bringing the SSD for that camera. Take it away, editor. What do we see today? Finish out the video for us.
Okay, let's look through these photos. Theme for today is going to be birds behind branches. Remember that. But first, the American robin. Classic. See one almost every time we go out. Yellow warbler. Seeing a lot more of these. It's very pretty. And then while it was up in the tree, we switched over the camera settings to try to get a faster shot with a higher speed when it would take off and go into flight. And instead, we just got it up in the tree. But still, kind of cool. More yellow warbler, but this time almost kind of camouflaged in between the yellow and green of the trees, or grass. Almost thought this was a yellow warbler, but got a lot of gray on the wing there and some white. Did some research. Also got a bit of darker right on the cap of the head. Pretty sure this is the female to one that we've seen for the first time just a few weeks ago, Bullock's Oriole. The female, not as orange, or almost not orange at all, and yellow, and has a lot of gray and white on the wing. But there it is, looking around. And then it started taking off in flight and behind the branches, but still kind of cool to see. There's actually a second one if you look. And there goes that one. There it is again. Remember our theme. But peeked out a little bit. More yellow warbler. You can just kind of see. This is interesting. These are the American tree sparrows that we've been looking at. And I happen to manage to see it's completely backlit with the sky behind it, but they're there. They make these nests in the trees. They happen to be grabbing a branch and then flying off when I snapped a picture. Pretty sure we have more of Bullock's Oriole because of the gray. Nope, take that back. This is clearly the male, and it's taking off in flight. Couldn't tell from behind. But there we go. Wings all spread. Not quite a fast enough shutter speed. That's fine. Tree sparrow, right? Here we go. Tried to get as best I could. It's completely in shadow. You can see the lights on the other side of the tree, but doing something with a nest. I was hoping maybe these would come out and we'd be able to see a little bit into the nest, but no. They go gather these supplies, come back, and stick them here into the knots of the tree, the holes. More Oriole. Not great. These ones were pretty dark behind branches. We've gone into shade at this point, but you can still see the color on these. It's just beautiful. Up in the top of the tree, same situation. Just when there's that much sky, and I switch over to the faster settings to try to get a shot of them getting ready to fly, but it didn't happen. And backlit, but, you know, we got some shade. You can see, though, because of the tail feathers, this is more of the tree sparrow. Here is where we were talking about the hummingbird on these branches, foliage. I'm not sure, but definitely the ruby-throated hummingbird we can see here, and this was a lot of in between, trying to snap pictures, trying to see it, a lot of branches in the way. You can just barely see a little bit of the head here, and then more of there. And this is where we, we'll go ahead and cut this video. Like we were talking about, got up close to look at the actual flowers that this thing was eating, but I don't know what it is. Speaking of things I don't know what they are, I don't know what this is. Could be a mockingbird, it could be several things, but very much in the branches. Can't really tell with the coloring. There's not enough there to make an identifying what is this. Pretty sure this is a sparrow, the song sparrow that we've seen a few times. They're common in this area. Red-winged blackbird, you get to hear them a lot. Yep, there it is. Kind of straddling two branches there. You get to see the color with the red wing. And taking off in flight, really cool. I can hear this photo. These things are so loud and they have a very distinct call. Really cool. And it taking off. I was hoping to replicate a photo that I took right when I first started. I went out to a field back in Georgia and I saw these birds flying and I could just catch the bit of red, and I took a picture of a red-winged blackbird right when its wing was down so you could just see all the red in it. It was really cool. Did manage to get that here. Birds in the tree. More yellow warbler. The way they blend in with this background. And then I wasn't quite sure what this is at first, but I included, even though this is not a great photo by any means, but you could see it kind of jumping between the branches. Oh, what is it? What is it? What do we have? Yellow warbler. And there, behind the branches. And we're looking up at it. This one, I'm not entirely sure. Could be a grackle. Could be a blackbird. I don't think it's a grackle. It doesn't quite match. It's possible, but it seems like the grackles have more color throughout the entire body. This one just seems to be around the neck. First of all, that eye, look at that. Not many birds have an eye that has the pupil on the inside as well. That's just ridiculous looking. All right, well, more song sparrow. No, wren. What am I talking about? House wren, I'm pretty sure. Didn't I identify that before? Robin. Robin. Oriole? Robin? Kind of cool though. Definitely robins. More tree sparrow. Yeah, we got a little closer with that one. There we go. That's a nice one. That one's almost nicer because the eye, you can see it, but pretty sure that's more song sparrow. A little robin doing a little peeking out. Oh, here's the hummingbird, right? This, although we just saw the ruby-throated hummingbird, I'm pretty sure this is a broad-tailed hummingbird. This is the one we were really excited. We saw the nest and everything sitting right on there. It's about the only one that matches as far as the tail goes, and that's really what the females are not nearly as brightly colored or easily identifiable, but based on these photos and then video footage in the future, spoiler, I'm editing all of that at the same time, but next week I come back with the video like I talked about, so using both of those to identify, I'm pretty sure this is a female broad-tailed hummingbird sitting on a nest. That's a bird, all right. There's a warbler in flight. Didn't quite catch it, but tried my best. More of the wren, yep. Wren looking up. You can see its chin. Is there a bird in the... Oh, there it is. Okay, right in the middle. I almost couldn't see it. There is a yellow warbler in between the branches in the middle there. And I went back. I saw the hummingbird one last time on the way out. Yep, really cool. Really neat to see. Probably more yellow warbler. Seeing a fair amount of these. Again, though, with the theme of behind branches. There we go. That's the one I was remembering. Brewer's blackbird? Maybe? I don't really see any that have a clear definition. Like, look at that. That has right around, I guess, the shoulder area where the wings are. It goes straight to black. And most of them kind of have a gradient almost where they go all the way down. If it was not black on the top, but brown, that has a clear definition between one or the other if it was a brown-headed cowbird. But the eye is not right at all, so that's not it. Pretty sure it's a brewer's blackbird. I think I've seen one of those before. But I'm not entirely sure. It does look an awful lot like the great-tailed grackle, which is possible for this area, but not super common. But I don't think the tail is nearly as long enough. Maybe? It's really hard to tell with some of these. But there he's doing a call. It looks a lot like that red-winged blackbird. And then some more yellow warbler. Yep, try to get it taken off in flight. Bit of the wings. It was just jumping between branches though. More of the blackbird or grackle, I can't really tell, but this time it has something in its beak that's... I looked at it and went, ew, what is that? And I'm not entirely sure. Long, slimy grass? I thought at first maybe a worm, like a black worm or snake or something, but no, I think it's just a bit of grass. I don't know if it was going to make a nest or what it was doing, but it sure had a bunch of stuff. I also thought maybe it was a bug at first, but I don't think so. Oh, some more tree sparrows, but this time there were 2 of them in the tree, which was really cool. I got a little bit closer on that. One of them had its head tucked in. I don't know if it was cleaning or if it was sleeping, but they're cute. Song sparrow, yeah, okay, all right. More of the song sparrow, much better photograph on that one. It came out a lot clearer. Doing its song. Chipmunk. That's all. Chipmunk was the last thing I saw. This was right as we were getting ready to leave, so you got a little bit of chipmunk. But that'll do it.